Time again for Coach's Corner with Jay, featuring the Knowles head coach, Jay Socosta, and our host, Jeff Stevens.
No matter what size you are, maybe it's time to transform your physique. For your convenience, Transforming Physiques is open all day, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Thursday, Fridays till 7, and Saturday 9 to 3. Take advantage of free weights and heavy-duty workout equipment. For expert advice, call trainer Jay Abel to schedule one-on-one fitness training. Aerobic classes will be starting in September. Adult, student, and family memberships are available at Transforming Physiques Fitness Center and Tanning Salon. The Woodsfield Clinic, a division of Wheeling Hospital, opened recently with familiar and friendly faces in the office. Joan and Janie know our area and many of the patients, which is a huge asset to the clinic. Dr. Charles D'Annunzio brings 30 years of healthcare experience and is focused on the needs of a rural practice. The Woodsfield Clinic will be expanding to 5 days a week starting September 6th to meet community needs. We are here because you ask us to be. A division of Wheeling Hospital, finding solutions, serving with care.
Students are able to get a very good education, gain some valuable experiences, and they don't have to leave or go far away to do it.
Whatever I wanted to do, I could go down to Athens and everything would transfer down.
So not only is it close to home, it's a decent price. Small classrooms and a friendly atmosphere. It just makes for a great place to start or even go all the way with the whole degree.
Ohio University Eastern. It's a new day.
You'll be pleasantly surprised at the clean and beautiful used furniture and appliances at Bob's, like this Hard Rock Maple Dining Room suite at only $5.99, or this 5-piece kitchen set. Like new and antique bed frames, new bedding, and bedroom suits. Plus recliners, tables, dressers, and lots of other items with inventory constantly changing. Appliances are priced to sell. Washers, dryers, refrigerators, stoves, and this upright freezer at only $319. The price is right at Bob's Used Furniture and Appliances.
Good evening. Welcome to Coach's Corner. And tonight we will discuss last week's 28-0 win over the Fort Frye Cadets, including highlights, talk to two of your Seminole players, and also look at this week's road trip to Magnolia. Well, Coach, last week we sat here and we talked about how the game was a matchup between a struggling Monroe Central offense and a struggling Fort Frye defense, and on this night your offense really came through.
Well, yes, we did, Jeff, and it was a big win for us because we hadn't tasted victory since the first game of the year. We went 3 straight weeks, and that was pretty tough. But we finally got back in the win column, and we did generate some offense. And as you mentioned, their defense had been struggling somewhat, but nonetheless, it's good to get a win and get back in the win column and hopefully get the offense on the right road.
Well, and not to be overlooked at the same time, there was another nice job by your defensive unit because Fort Frye came in with an offensive group that had put up some good numbers, and once again your defense came through and got the bonus of a shutout.
Hey, we got a shutout, and that's one of the goals that the kids have every year to get the shutouts, and we finally, after playing good defense throughout the first 4 games, we finally came up with a shutout in this, our 5th game of the year. So as I told the defense, they deserved that to get a shutout because they played well all year long. So it's the main thing is to get the offense in gear and keep the defense playing as good as it's been playing in the first 4 games.
Now early in the ball game, of course, you kind of dipped into the bag of tricks a little bit with the play. The reverse pass with Justin Hogan to throw the touchdown pass. Was this something that was part of the game plan going in, or is that kind of a spur of the moment idea that let's give it a shot?
No, we've worked on that, and of course we've used that play over the years many times, and it's been very successful for us. I guess you just got to pick the right spot, the right time, and then you've got to execute it properly. And we had difficulty coming up with one of our halfbacks throwing the ball the way we wanted him to, and so we knew Justin, being a backup quarterback, he had thrown the ball before, and so we put him in there, and probably not going to be able to get away with that. We did get away with it once, lining him up in a wing position, which we don't normally do. So, at least the first time they're not looking for that, and we did get away with it. And it was a perfectly executed play. If you watch it as we watched it on tape, everybody was doing an excellent job blocking up front. Nick did a nice job selling the run first. They handled the ball well. It was a reverse pass situation. Handled the ball real well, and Justin did a nice job, delivered a nice pass to Nick, and that's, even though you're that wide open, that's not one of the easiest passes to catch, really. So they all did a real nice job in executing. It was nice to get on the board and get on the board early.
And to me, then one of the really satisfying parts of the game, I'm sure for you also, was right before halftime when your team put together a real nice driving, about 16, 17 plays to beat the clock and get in for another big score before the half.
Yeah, that's something we hadn't done previously this year, Jeff. In fact, we didn't have a rushing touchdown. We got 2 rushing touchdowns. Actually, prior to that, we had 5 touchdowns, and 2 of them were on our kick teams, one on a punt return, one on a kickoff return. The other 3 were through the air. So it was nice to get the ball in the end zone on the ground, but as you say, it was also nice to put together a nice drive, 17-play drive, and beat the clock and get the ball in the end zone. In fact, there were a lot of positives. I told our young men coming out of that game, we were down in the red zone one other time. We turned the ball over by fumble, but we did get the ball in the end zone, and that's what you've got to do when you get down there, and that showed a lot of poise on their part. So, we just need to continue to generate offense.
Well, and then it was really nice at the end of the game to be able to get your younger kids on the field for 2 series offensively. And I know you probably answered this question before, but your philosophy there with putting your younger kids in on offense and yet letting your first defensive unit stay on the field, I think that's usually because the other team keeps their first offense out.
Right. The opponents usually in that situation, when you're leading by what we were leading by, you look to your opponents to kind of dictate what you're going to do, and our kids work real hard for shutout. They had a shutout going, and they kept their first team in. Had they pulled their first kids out, we would have pulled our first kids out and let the younger kids play on defense as well. But we substituted first, probably with almost 9 minutes to go. We start putting people in the game and substituting, so we did get everybody in the game, which is a nice thing on the offensive side of the ball. They kept their older guys in, so we kept our older guys in on defense to preserve the shutout.
And then those younger kids, JV team was able to respond then on Monday night with another win down at Fort Frye.
The JVs did get a win at Fort Frye on Monday night, and they're improving with each week. As we mentioned before, they don't get a lot of time to play together as a team and to go over things offensively and defensively, but all we ask them to do is play hard and work basically on executing the fundamentals, and they have been getting a little better each week, so that makes them 3-1 to date on the reserve schedule, which is a great experience.
Well, before we get and look at next week's opponent, the Magnolia Blue Eagles, we'll come back and talk to a couple player guests right after this.
GAP Wireless is your hometown wireless agent. That's great news for you because now you don't have to drive 30 miles or more if you have a simple problem with your cell phone. Maybe your current plan just isn't right for you and the way you use your phone. Well, GAP Wireless is your one-stop shop for wireless. Stop in to customize your plan, pick up accessories, or check out the latest audio and video streaming camera phone with a radio. GAP Wireless is an Alltel authorized agent.
Green Acres is the place to go. Garden tilling or grass to mow. Showroom spread out so far and wide. Come and see all our four-wheel rides.
Ah, the steels are what you've got to see. Chainsawing or attacking weeds. Lawn Boy and Toro are sold here too. Models for all the work you need to do.
Great advice. Good price. Service repairs. Extra care. Save a buck.
Emergencies happen 24 hours a day. When seconds count and options matter, you need access to a facility close to home. An emergency room in a hospital with a direct link to Ohio State University medical specialists, doctors and nurses there for you 24 hours a day. The emergency services at Barnesville Hospital are ready when seconds count. What option will you choose? Urgent care with limited hours or 24-hour care from an accredited hospital? Barnesville Hospital Emergency Services.
Our first guest this evening is sophomore running back Zach Ring. Zach wears number 30. And on Friday night, he posted nearly 100 yards combined, rushing and receiving, and scored 2 touchdowns and also added a 2-point conversion. This first question, Zach, I've asked most of the younger kids that's been on here before, what do you find is the biggest difference between playing on Monday nights in a JV game and Friday nights in a varsity game?
Well, I guess they're just a little bit bigger and a little bit faster, and uniforms are not a lot nicer, and I guess just a lot more fun.
Now, your biggest asset that you bring to the field would be your speed. You know, what do you run the 40-yard dash in?
Did it 4.9 a couple times, and it's 5 flats.
Now, last week against Caldwell, you got a chance to show that speed for the first time all year with a kickoff return to start the third quarter. You know, tell us about it.
Well, the return team did a nice job blocking, and I just found my hole and off I went.
Now, this past Friday night, then, you know, you were able to get into the end zone twice via rushing games. You know, what were the plays and how did those go?
One of them was a 36 with Eddie in the backfield and just blocked. And then with Eddie in the backfield, nice because you just follow him and you get right in.
Now, that touchdown that you got a week ago against Caldwell, was that your first varsity touchdown?
Yes, it was.
And that has to be a great feeling to get that. Well, here we are the past 2 weeks, Coach. You know, we've seen a small sample, I think, of what Zach can bring to the football field.
Well, you know, we felt that Zach had a lot to offer last year, Jeff. We watched him in reserve games, and even though he's not very big size-wise, he showed a lot of guts and determination. He ran very hard. He broke a lot of tackles, and he just wouldn't go down real easy. And that's the thing that caught our eye last year. And in fact, what he did in the reserve games last year earned him a position on the kickoff return team, and he did a good job there for us. And of course, you mentioned this year he returned to one at Caldwell back, opening kickoff of the second half back for a touchdown. So you can see what he can do if he gets in the open. He hasn't been able to shake free like that from the line of scrimmage yet, but I think you'll see that come. He's just a sophomore. He's got a lot of football ahead of him, and you know, he's a young man that doesn't say a whole lot. He works real hard, and I think you're going to see big things happen in the future. He's really actually played more on the offensive side of the ball than the defensive side of the ball, but don't be surprised you don't see him on the defensive side of the ball too. This past week he did, as he mentioned, he ran a couple ISOs and got in the end zone on some rushing touchdowns, which we haven't really done thus far this year. So that's a good thing. And like I said, you know, you'll see a lot of good things out of Zach as the season progresses. He's got pretty good hands. He'll catch the football, and you know, he made a couple key catches there the other night for us, and we'll utilize him as a receiver and also a runner. So, like I say, I think you're going to see a lot of good things happen as he's, you know, just a sophomore, and he's got a long way to go and a lot of football to play.
Now, I also take it that you're feeling a lot more comfortable out there probably now than what you were those first game or two, you know, as a sophomore. I'm sure you had to be a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
On it. I think that's to be expected. Well, you know, good luck to you this week, and hopefully we'll see you in the end zone quite a few more times here during the last 5 weeks of the season.
Thanks.
When we come back, we'll talk to quarterback Dexter Hughes.
A good football team works together, helping each other to do their best. A good insurance agency works together too, showing you the best coverage for you and your family. F.W. Shoemaker Insurance Agency represents several companies, so you benefit from personally designed coverage for your home, autos, or business. Talk to one of their agents about all your insurance needs, including life insurance and annuities. As they continue to look out for your future, F.W. Shoemaker Agency is celebrating over 100 years of service. The Seminoles of F.W. Shoemaker Agency, 2 winning traditions.
When we first opened our doors in 1929, Marietta Memorial Hospital marked the beginning of a commitment to healthcare in our community. From the start, the vision of compassionate care has been the standard for all that we do. Through the years, Marietta Memorial has been a leader in our community with advancements in both patient care and technology. As we celebrate our 75th anniversary, we continue that commitment, working to make a measurable difference in the health of the community where we live and work.
Most financial institutions like to talk about how big and strong they are. At Ohio Valley Community Credit Union, we'll show you just how big. Ohio Valley Community Credit Union. We're as big and strong as all of our member groups. Everyone in Belmont County and everyone in Monroe County. Ohio Valley Community Credit Union.
If you're around others that smoke, you are at risk.
Sitting behind someone who is smoking in a stadium for 3 hours is the same thing as a non-smoker smoking one cigarette. Riding in a car with somebody who is smoking with the windows rolled up for 1 hour is the same as a non-smoker smoking 4 cigarettes.
And sitting in the non-smoking section of a restaurant is just like smoking 1.5 cigarettes.
Your choice leaves us no choice. To learn how to protect yourself and others from secondhand smoke, call Monroe County Tobacco Use Prevention and Control at 472-1677. Would you like to break the tobacco habit? We can help. Call Tammy at the Monroe County Health Department, 472-1677, extension 204.
We're now joined by senior quarterback Dexter Hughes, number 13. Dexter coming off a 200-yard passing game this past week. First question, Dex. What's the biggest difference this Friday night compared to some of the past weeks when our passing game has struggled a bit?
You could just definitely tell before the game that our boys were pumped up a lot more, and the offensive line, I got to give them all the credit because without the offensive line, quarterback isn't anything, and they just really stepped it up and made a pretty nice pocket for me, and a few times I stepped up, but a few times I had to run, and when I had to run, we made it happen, so.
Everywhere I go this year, I know the first night over Buckeye Trail, a couple of different people asked me about, where'd your quarterback come from? How did he get so big? Kind of take us through, from the freshman year, what you were listed in the program up to this year.
Well, about freshman year, I was about 5'4", 135, so I was about the size of Zach Ray, my running back, so it's pretty nice being as tall as I am now. I'm about 6'5", 190, so it's pretty good help being a quarterback. Standing back there at 6'5", I can really see the field, and it's a big help.
Early in the year, of course, working with mainly new running backs and new wide receivers, was this difficult there during the camp in August to get used to everybody?
Oh yeah, it was a lot different. I mean, I had Nick because my freshman and sophomore year, me and Nick really hooked up in JV ball. And I'd say the hardest thing was the handoffs. I mean, everyone looks past the handoffs on Friday nights, and handing the ball to Zach and then handing the ball to Kyle Rader is just a big difference because the two size difference between them, and it was just a lot to get used to.
Now, if you're like most quarterbacks, every once in a while if you get a chance, you'd probably like to get warmed up and see how far you can air it out.
Oh, yeah.
How far can you throw?
The other day in warm-ups, I was messing around and threw it about 63, 64 yards. I don't know if that was my first or what, so I'd like to really see how far I can throw it, but I don't want to mess up my arm or anything during the season.
That's probably about the same distance that Coach Shoemaker throws.
I'd say he's got a pretty good arm.
And this past week also, with your completions, I believe you went to 6 different receivers. Was this something that was planned, or just happened?
It wasn't really planned. Most of the time, I mean, I know what the receiver's doing. I don't want to sound like I don't know what the routes are, but I'm not really even sure who I'm throwing to. I just try to find the open man, and if it's someone I've went to before, I throw the ball, and if it's someone I haven't went to in the past, it really doesn't matter. I just try and get everyone the ball.
The last question here, there was a play there, I think it was in the second half on a short yardage situation. So if you run the quarterback sneak, something we've not seen a lot of, is this called or something you checked off back at the line?
Oh yeah, it was called. We really don't check off at the line, but I'd like to, but it was definitely called, and Coach just told me to get the first down, hold on the football, and I did just that.
Coach, here you got a second-year starter, as your quarterback, and so the offense has struggled, maybe because of some new teammates and various reasons, but here Dexter responded this past week with probably one of his best games.
Yeah, he had a great game this past week, Jeff, and threw the ball well, and for probably as much yardage as we've had a quarterback throw the ball for, a little bit over 200 yards, so that's a great night out. He hit, as you mentioned, a lot of different receivers, but going back to last year, Dexter, he did a good job for us last year, and it was his first year as a starter. He earned that position, and he proved himself at the varsity level. And going in as a quarterback, I can remember some good quarterbacks that we had, and their first outing. It's usually they struggle a good bit and throw a lot of interceptions and that type of thing. And Dexter really didn't do anything last year to hurt us, and he helped us in a lot of situations. So he got a lot of experience, and we look for him to be our starter this year as a result of getting experience last year. And as you also mentioned, he got a lot bigger, and that's to his advantage to where he can see the field and pick out different receivers. So he throws a nice ball. He throws as good a ball as anybody around, and it's sometimes on the mechanics, so we have to kind of keep getting on him as far as where he holds the ball and stepping up in the pocket and those types of things that can help out. So, but and again, he's kind of teasingly bugged me about a couple things that he hasn't really done yet. One's running the ball a lot, and that's, I think he probably would be the first to admit that's really not his forte, so to speak, but he can if he has to scramble. He scrambled on occasions and picked up some first downs for us, and I think he'll be able to do more of that as long as he steps up in the pocket. And the other thing is he hasn't played on the defensive side of the ball. It's not that he couldn't play on the defensive side of the ball, but unless we all really have to, we don't normally play our quarterbacks on the defensive side of the ball. So if he can still continue to do the job like he did last week on offense for us and throw the ball, pick out different receivers, that's what we're looking for.
Continued good luck here the last 5 weeks of the season. Maybe we can see a few more weeks, as this past Friday night, and I'm sure that will result in a lot more Seminole wins there as we go through the last 5 weeks of the season. When we come back, we'll look at some highlights from the Fort Frye game right after this.
Be a winner. Catch a great deal on a new or pre-owned car or truck at Knowlton Ford. Look at the selection in the lot or let them use their locator service to find exactly what you want. Knowlton's have served Monroe County with quality Ford parts and service for 4 generations. And there's still a Home Light dealer offering sales, service, and parts. So why not let Mike help you reach your goal when it comes to your next vehicle? Be a winner. Shop Knowlton Ford. Dr. Jay Seidler and nurse practitioner Carol Shoemaker and the staff of Marietta Healthcare Physicians want to take this opportunity to thank all of their patients for your continued support over the past several years. Dr. Seidler and Carol are thrilled to come home and serve your healthcare needs. We're here for you Monday through Friday and accessible by phone at other times. So if you're already a patient, thank you. If not, call to make arrangements for transferring your medical records to Marietta Healthcare Physicians. Why buy it and store it when you can just ask Woodsfield True Value for the tools and equipment you need for your next project? Rent that auger, log splitter, 40-foot extension ladder, or pressure washer just in time for fall chores. If you need earth-moving equipment, hand tools, party supplies, lawn and garden tools, or stuff for automotive care, concrete work, plumbing, and so much more, help is just around the corner at Just Ask Rental, Woodsfield True Value.
We'll start tonight's highlight package with the opening kickoff.
Nice kick here by Chris Lazier back to about the 10-yard line, and the ball bounces inside the 10. We got great coverage there by Chris Richter, a freshman on the kickoff team, followed up by Kyle Rader, Zach Burke. Got a lot of people around the ball, and anytime you can start them out deep in their own territory like that, that's a plus for field position, Jeff.
In Fort Frye's opening possession, Eddie McConnell steps in and makes a tackle in the backfield.
We see here Eddie lines up in 40 position on the offensive guard, and he does a real nice job of standing up the lineman there to try to block him, and he puts pressure on and drives the ball carrier back. Excellent job there. He gets support from a couple other defensive linemen.
On your opening play from scrimmage, you caught the Fort Frye defense completely by surprise.
And here we line up in a wing formation. We'll toss the ball to Zach Ring. He'll hand it back to Justin Ogue. Got perfect protection there, excellent pass to Nick Billman. He hauls it in and takes it in for the touchdown. A perfectly executed offensive play for a touchdown.
Good penetration from your defensive line led by Mike English.
Right here, Tyler Engel in the shotgun formation will just try to keep the ball up the middle, and our defensive line does an excellent job right here. We got 3 or 4 guys around the ball led by Mike English, and they converge on Engel to throw him for a loss.
On the very next play, some good defensive pressure, and Eddie McConnell picks up a quarterback sack.
Well, again, good charge by our defensive line here, led by Eddie McConnell, number 72. He's at a down position. They'll run out of the shotgun formation again. Engel has nobody to throw the ball to. He gets good pressure from our defensive line, and they make the sack on him. Excellent job defensively.
Torrey Prickett's first carry of the night was a good one.
Now here, Torrey lines up halfback. We got a wing to the right, and we're going to run a straight dive off of the right side here. Torrey does a nice job breaking this outside, gets some nice blocks up front. People got their hands on people, and Torrey does a nice job picking up the first down.
On fourth down, Buck Wiley, returning to the lineup after a 3-week absence, makes a big tackle.
And Buck steps up there from his linebacker position, does a real nice job. He makes the initial hit, gets help from Eddie McConnell and Torrey Prickett. Nice defensive stop here on fourth down to give us the football back.
Well, Coach, there's nothing like one-play touchdown drives.
Another big play, Jeff, for a touchdown. And again, on first down, we line up in a slot I formation. And Dexter will fake the dive off the right side. Step back, gets excellent pass protection, throws a beautiful pass right in stride. Nick Billman hauls it in and takes it in for the touchdown. 2 big plays on 2 first down plays.
Well, after a pair of Fort Frye penalties, Zach Ring gets into the end zone for the 2-point conversion.
Here we line up in a power I formation to the right. We got Eddie McConnell in the backfield as a blocking back, and we'll run the ISO off the right side. Get nice blocking here, and Zach takes it in for the 2-point conversion.
On fourth and long, Fort Frye decides to go for a field goal, and it appears that Eddie McConnell gets a deflection.
Eddie comes straight up the middle. He does tip the ball, and thus he does hit the kicker, but by getting a piece of the ball, that was not a roughing the kicker.
Well, Coach, this play may be a short gain, but Nick Billman does an outstanding job.
Yeah, not a big play for a touchdown, a lot of yards like the 2 previous Nick made, but boy, what a tremendous catch here, Jeff. Sticks one hand out and controls the ball in his fingertips and brings it back in after being tackled. Just an excellent catch by Nick Billman.
Here's an example of that speed of Zach Ring that we talked about.
Plus, Zach shows some nice moves on this, Jeff. We'll run a trap. We got a slot left eye, and he'll run a trap back to this side and does a nice job cutting in, out, cutting back in, using the stiff arm, picking up 13 yards on the play.
Here, Dexter Hughes buys some extra time and is able to find Jordan Wells across the middle.
No, Dexter does have to move out of the pocket here, and Jordan will find an open spot in the middle. We got motion to this side, which gives us trips, and Dexter will step to the left and then step up and find Jordan over the middle, makes a nice catch, and picks up a nice big first down.
The first half clock is winding down. Now Hughes will find Rader for a big first down.
Well, Kyle's lined up here beside Dexter in the backfield, and what'll happen, we'll send some receivers out, slide Kyle out of the backfield, and he makes a nice catch. Just gets bumped out of bounds, stepped out of bounds, and he might have taken that one all the way in for a touchdown.
On the very next play, Dexter is able to find Torrey Prickett across the middle.
Here we have a low snap here on the out of the shotgun formation. Dexter does a nice job of fielding the ball, picking it up off the ground, and finds Torrey Prickett, number 24, coming across the middle at about the 3-yard line, and he makes a nice catch there.
Zach Ring will record your first rushing touchdown of the year.
Here we line up in a power I formation again to the right side, and Zach will take it in almost virtually untouched for the rushing touchdown.
Kyle Singleton adds the point after.
Hey, here Kyle does a nice job with the extra point, and that's all important, that point after. Here we get a good snap, good hold, and he gets an end-over-end kick and pounds it through.
Here's another big play from Dexter Hughes to Nick Billman.
There, Nick's lined up down at the bottom of your screen here, out as a split end, and they'll play us tight. Nick will end up going deep, and they'll get nice protection again. Dexter puts it right on the money and finds Nick, and he takes it down around the 5-10-yard line.
Well, tonight's 2 guests team up for a first down.
Here we'll run out of the shotgun formation, and Zach Ring's lined up in the slot to this side. Dexter will have to scramble, ends up scrambling to his left, and steps up right close to the line of scrimmage, makes an excellent throw there to Zach, makes an excellent catch as he dives and keeps the football off the ground.
Well, Dexter and Zach, it worked once. Why not try it again?
Now again, we're lined up in 4 wides, and Dexter's in the shotgun, and he'll find Zach Ring. Zach goes down, and he looks to his left, scrambles to the right, then finds Zach there about the 18-yard line, and he picks up another first down.
Zach Ring gets his second rushing touchdown of the night.
Here we'll run the dive off the left side, and there's a big hole, and offensive line does a nice job, and Zach Ring takes it into the end zone for a touchdown.
The night's final points comes off the foot of Kyle Singleton.
Here Kyle does another good job. We get a good snap, we get a good hold. Snap by Skylar Bondi, hold by Tori Prickett, and Kyle Singleton drills another one through.
Last week's guest, Cole Lewis, makes an interception.
Well, we talked to Cole all night about not dropping back and stepping up, and here he steps up defensively, and they try to throw the ball down the middle, and he steps in front, makes the pick right there. Nice defensive play by Cole.
Here's senior fullback Buck Wiley works his way back into the offense.
Just a straight power off tackle here, Jeff. Buck Wiley at fullback, and he gets the carry, does a nice job cutting it back inside, spins and picks up a couple extra yards. Nice run.
Your last defensive play of the game, Tori Prickett with good pressure from the backside knocks the ball away, and Chris Lazier makes a recovery.
Well, Tyler Engel will try to roll to his right here, and does get great pressure from number 24, Tori Prickett, coming from the backside, and he'll knock the ball out of his hand. Number 85, Chris Lazier, bounces on the football, and that snuffs out Fort Frye's last chance to score.
Now let's take a look at our Citizens National Bank Play of the Week.
Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield, home-owned and independently operated since 1933. Your community bank. Our officers, directors, and staff are dedicated to customer and community service. We reinvest your deposit dollars locally. So remember, banking with us is not only good for you, but it's good for your community. Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Bill Reesbeck. 3/4 of a century ago, Grandma Reesbeck made a commitment to give customers the best quality available at the best possible price. I'm happy to continue that commitment as I introduce you to Reesbeck's new store brand, Our Family. It's as good as the national brands at a price that's even better. Well, I feel so good about Our Family brand. If you're not satisfied, we'll give you double your money back. Isn't it time your family had dinner with Our Family?
McDonald's of Woodsfield is not just great food and lots of fun, it's a vital part of our community. Perla and Dell believe in supporting our kids. That's why McDonald's is proud to be the exclusive halftime sponsor for the Monroe Central Seminoles. And proud to offer 24-hour drive-through service. McDonald's food whenever you're hungry.
This is the receiver of the Woodsfield Redskins, and I'm loving it.
Stop by and try McDonald's latest chicken premium sandwiches.
We're loving it.
So before or after the big game, celebrate at McDonald's. For over 100 years, Bauer Turner Furniture has been serving our community with quality furniture and bedding. After a big day, kick back and relax in a dual recliner sofa, or choose from living room suites featuring couches with comfy armchairs or matching recliners. Then pick the perfect coffee table and tables and lamp to suit your personality. Of course, they stock bedroom furniture to please the country, traditional, or contemporary decorator. Kitchen tables and chairs, hutches, entertainment centers, and more can be delivered to your home this week. So stop by Bauer Turner Furniture today.
This week's opponent will be the Magnolia Blue Eagles. It's another road game down in New Martinsville, and kickoff tomorrow night is at 7:30. Well, Coach, with all due respect to the River Pilots, who did beat Magnolia in overtime, this would appear by far to be the best team that we have played this year.
There's no doubt about that, Jeff. Magnolia has an excellent football team. They've put some points on the board. They have given some points up with the exception of their first game, but they're a good football team. There's no doubt about that. They're 4-1 to date. In their opener, they shut out Petersburg 36-0. In game 2, they did lose in overtime to River 21-20 on a blocked extra point. In game number 3, they defeated Point Pleasant 28-21. Following that, they defeated Grafton 21-18. And then the last week, they defeated Poca 28-7. So to date, they've scored 133 points, or averaging just almost 27 points per game. They've given up 67, average defensively of yielding almost 14 points a game, 13.4 points a game. So, they've got some real skilled players, and they've got some good linemen. Defensively, they're always strong. They do a lot of things with the blitz. So we can expect definitely a very, very tough ball game Friday night.
Well, looking at the stories in the paper and some of the information there, when you talk about their offense, and I see one name keeps jumping out at us quite a bit, and that's their quarterback by the name of Josh Sims, that he runs it or passes it just nearly every play, and doesn't hand it off a whole lot.
Well, last year they started the season with McEldowney at quarterback, and he appeared as though he was going to be a good quarterback for them in the future. In fact, they've got just about everybody back from last year. I think they only had about 5 seniors on that squad last year, and so a lot of those guys got a lot of good experience. They've got some key seniors. On offense, they start 6 seniors, 3 juniors, and 2 sophomores. But as you mentioned, the guy that is the real key for them, especially offensively, is a guy wearing number 6, and that's Josh Sims. He's an outstanding athlete. He can do a lot of things. They inserted him at quarterback when they lost McEldowney. He moved away this year and transferred out of the district. And so Josh Sims is a guy that's quarterbacking their offense, and he's done a tremendous job thus far. He's a senior. He's 5'9", 175. He's rushed the ball for just under 600 yards in the first 5 games, 117 carries, 579 yards, averaging 115 yards a game on the ground rushing for a quarterback. That's pretty good numbers. He's also scored 9 touchdowns rushing. Passing, he's 49 of 81 for 714 yards. So passing, he's averaging 142, almost 143 yards per game. So you put that 143 yards with 115, that's pretty good numbers offensively as far as production is concerned. So a guy like that, you don't really stop cold or shut out. You just got to slow him down. You got to try to keep him from making the big plays. He's the key to their offense. But that doesn't mean he's the only guy on offense. They've got a lot of other people. You got to have some people that can catch the ball when you're passing for almost 150 yards per game, and he's got that. His receivers, tight end Eric Mason, 6'2", 210, number 4. He can catch the football. Nathan West is a wideout. He can catch the football. He has 3 catches, 68 yards. A couple of the guys that he goes to more often than others are number 2, Joe Farrell. He's a senior. He played some quarterback last year. In fact, started when they had injury to McEldowney. He started against us at quarterback. He's 6 foot 187. He's got 11 catches, 137 yards, 27.4 average per game. And the guy that's got the most yardage and the most catches is number 8, Zach Snyder. He's a senior, 6 foot 158, 16 catches, 314 yards. He's averaging 62 yards per game in catches. But it's not just the passing game. It's the run game, and it's not just the run game with Sims. You got to be concerned about their other 2 backs, especially Billy Longwell. He's number 41, 5'10", 205, a hard runner, big kid, senior. He's averaging about 50 yards. He doesn't get as many carries as what Sim does. He's averaging about 50 yards per game on the ground, but he's somebody we'll have to be concerned about. And they'll move him around. Sometimes you'll see him at tailback, sometimes you'll see him at fullback. So they move him around, they get the ball to him. And the other back is number 34, Steve Zadowitz. He's a sophomore, started last year on defense as a freshman, 5'8", 186, a real tough, hard-nosed kid. Doesn't get a lot of carries, but he's still adequate as far as carrying the ball. And up front, they've got 2 seniors, a couple juniors, and a sophomore in the interior line. Taylor Shepard, 5'9", 170, number 51, a sophomore center. Their guards, Jason Beverland, 5'9", 205, senior, number 58. And the other senior on the offensive line is Evan Long, number 55, 6', 172. The tackles, Nick Baxter, junior, number 59, 6', 200, and Matt Swartling, 6'3", 215, number 56, another junior. So not overly big as they've been in past years on the offensive line or as a team, but they've got good speed, they've got some good athletes. Like I say, they got some guys that can make it happen, especially number 6, Josh Sims, and he's just been super in every game out this year.
And on the defensive side of the ball, again, I know they're a little bit bigger school than what we are, so, do they have some kids playing defense on there, or is it mainly the same ones?
Well, mainly it's the same guys, a lot of the same names, Mason, Baxter, Beverland, Longwell, Zadowitz, Swordling, those guys, Sims on the defensive side of the ball. The thing about their defense, Jeff, is that you don't know really exactly where they're going to be. They may give you a 50-look set, they may give you a 40-look set. Last year they ran a 6-2, basically an 8-man line against us, so we may see that. But the thing about them is they're going to bring linebackers, and they're going to give you constant pressure. Now, we usually tell our kids, don't get excited. They may throw us for a loss here and there. That's going to happen, especially when you play a blitzing team. Sometimes you'll have somebody miss a linebacker and not pick him up, and they'll get a big sack and throw you for a loss. But by the same token, when you blitz a lot, you can get burnt, and that's something that we hope we can do. We've got to kind of seam them or wall them off a little bit in the gaps, and we got to try to get by them in there, and we're going to have to probably throw the ball successfully again this week. Maybe not as well as we did last week, but we got to make some big plays like we did last week, and we got to try to loosen them up a little bit, because if all we do is run the ball, they put 7, 8, 9 guys on line of scrimmage. It's going to be pretty difficult to run when they got everybody coming in all the gaps. So it's just a constant pressure on defense. They take a lot of chances and gambles, and they blitz a lot. So that's something that we've seen in the past, and you can expect to see tomorrow night.
Well, and that is tomorrow night at New Martinsville, Magnolia High School. Kickoff will be at 7:30. And when we come back, we'll have a few closing wrap-up items and a few announcements right after this.
Monroe Family Health Center is and always has been a part of your community.
For almost 30 years, Monroe Family Health Center has been providing excellence in comprehensive health care in Monroe County. We invite you to visit us and take advantage of our lab, x-ray, immunization, medication assistance, and other services available in Woodsfield. All insurances, including Medicaid, are accepted with a sliding fee scale based on income and family size.
4 doctors and a nurse practitioner are ready to serve you and your family.
Celebrate 44 years with Doan Ford and experience the difference of having the largest Ford inventory in the area, state-of-the-art showroom, state-of-the-art collision center, award-winning service department, a staff that treats you like family, and the Ohio Valley's premier Ford dealership. Doan Ford has been here for 44 years and is ready to serve the community for 44 more. Find out why everyone is saying, I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
You'll be pleasantly surprised at the clean and beautiful used furniture and appliances at Bob's, like this Hard Rock Maple dining room suite at only $5.99, or this 5-piece kitchen set. Like new and antique bed frames, new bedding, and bedroom suits. Plus recliners, tables, dressers, and lots of other items with inventory constantly changing. Appliances are priced to sell. Washers, dryers, refrigerators, stoves, and this upright freezer at only $319. The price is right at Bob's Used Furniture and Appliances. Since 1887, folks have trusted Woodsfield Savings Bank with their financial needs. So when you need someone to lead you with your financial decisions, come to the friendly folks at Woodsfield Savings Bank, where customers count. Because of your busy schedule, we offer a drive-through and night deposit box, as well as convenient parking, direct deposit, and automatic payments. The folks at Woodsfield Savings Bank truly believe that making an investment in our kids brings the biggest return to our community.
Pre-sale tickets for tomorrow night's game at Magnolia will be available during school hours at Monroe Central High School only. And those tickets in advance are $3 for students and $5 for adults, and that will be the same price that you will pay at the gate tomorrow night. As I said, kickoff is 7:30 tomorrow night at Magnolia High School. The game will be aired on radio station WBNV 93.5. And I know road games, and it's kind of nice to be able to bring a road game back to you on the radio. Of course, Saturday morning, 11 a.m. here on Channel 6 with the game replay. Sideliners board winners for this past week. First quarter, Dawn Birchie. Halftime score went to Lance LaFault. And third quarter and final score, we'll just say, went to John Doe. And Coach, you've got a few items there as far as sideliners and football moms.
That John Doe must have been yours truly, Jeff Stevens, huh?
It must be something with this chair, because I think last year's host hit a couple of numbers last year.
Yeah.
And he also hit a couple this year.
Well, a few things, Jeff, I wanted to mention. Number one is at this last home game against Fort Frye, the sideliners had a table set up, and we had several items that we had sold previously, such as T-shirts, pullovers, jackets, sweatshirts, long-sleeve T-shirts, sweatpants, shorts, those kind of items. And we'll probably have that again at the next home game, provided the weather is good. And so if anyone wants to start picking up any of those items, I know as the weather cools off, people are thinking in terms of jackets and sweatshirts and those kind of things, so they might want to bring a few extra bucks with them and pick one of those items up. Also, I mentioned earlier that a couple upcoming events. One is on October the 2nd, the football moms will have their annual tour of homes, which has been a nice thing in the past, and that will take place on Sunday, October the 2nd from 1 to 5. Tickets are $5 for the tour, and you can pick up a ticket here at the field house. They'll have a reception area here, or you can pick up a ticket at any of the homes or places that are on the tour. You can start wherever and pick up a ticket and go to all the other places. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank those people who are so kind to place their house or business on tour. We surely appreciate that, to make that a successful tour. And our thanks goes out to Krista Duffy, Jeff and Fonda Turner, Jerry and Shane Lindemood, Ken and Shelley Young, West Falls, and Good Stuff. These people are all showing their homes or businesses for this year's tour. So if you haven't got your ticket yet, see a football mom, stop in here on that Sunday, October the 2nd, between 1 and 5, or stop at one of those places that I just mentioned, and you'll be able to pick up a ticket and take in that tour this year. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Another thing that I wanted to remind you of, the Seminole Supper will be coming up, and I believe the date of that is Sunday, the 23rd of October, if I'm not mistaken, and that will take place at Swiss Hills Monroe Central in the cafeteria area. If you haven't purchased your tickets yet, you might want to check with one of the football moms and get your tickets for that. That's usually a nice afternoon out, a nice dinner, and what have you. They'll again have the country store, which is, they have some very nice prizes that they give away at that time. Also, something else I wanted to remind everybody of is the 200 Club. We're getting up around probably close to 75 members in already. Get in on that early bird special, chance to win a new TV. And so if you haven't renewed your 200 Club membership, please do that as soon as possible. And also, if you haven't been in a 200 Club in the past, we welcome you to get in. Again, you have several chances to win, and we draw 2 winners each week of the year and give away $25 to each of those winners. And you also get the benefit of coming to 2 parties. If you join, if you haven't been in before, you get to come to this year's party and next year's party. So you might as well get in on some of the fun of the 200 Club.
And that's quite a few announcements here for a road game. Usually we save most of that for home games. And I don't believe I mentioned earlier there, the JV game this Monday night will be at Magnolia. Last year, because of flooding conditions, Magnolia's JVs came here, even though the varsity game was here. So in order to balance that out, our JV team will travel to Magnolia on Monday night. And again, hope to see everyone tomorrow night down at Magnolia. A very important game against a very good Magnolia team as the Seminoles try to keep things going. If you're there, or even if you're not there, be sure to tune in Saturday morning, 11 a.m. on Channel 6 for the replay. And then Coach and I will be here at the same time next Thursday evening to recap that game and look at future games up on the schedule on that. Well, Coach, a lot of luck this week. It's sure nice to sit here this week. I feel a lot of pleasant things to to talk about and have a nice highlight package as we did, and hopefully we can look forward to that next week.
Well, let's hope so, Jeff. We got back in the win column, and hopefully we can do it again this week to keep things rolling and start off in this second half of the season on a positive note.
And thank you for joining us tonight, and hope to see you here again next Thursday evening. Until then, good night.